Hi, this is Jeff Bilodeau with Dimension Data's Customer Interactive Solution Group. I'm with Brandon Brown, the CIO of Trident Marketing, to talk about a recent project that we just implemented for Trident Marketing with great success. But before we get into that, Brandon, maybe you could talk a little bit about Trident Marketing as an organization.
Trident Marketing is the second largest reseller of DirecTV. We have several other consumer brands such as ADT and Quest's new 4G product that we're selling on the sales floor. We've been around for 23 years, but we've only been really selling the consumer brands for the last 5. We've experienced explosive growth over the last 5 years, starting at about $2 million and ending with $61 million last year in gross revenue.
So Brandon, we've had a great relationship together. What has been some of the challenges that you've had in the past, maybe working with other partners?
In the past, we had a MyTel system that allowed us to get started in our call center business. And we brought in several vendors to basically tell us how we could grow the call center leaps and bounds as our revenue was growing. We had several partners that came in, and we selected one that had an integrated CRM. With that, once it was deployed, we found that it was underpowered and basically not set up the way that we needed to have it set up for the number of marketing programs that we have. Within the first month of implementation, we were down so often that we figured we lost about $1.5 to $2 million worth of gross revenue just in system downtime. From that point forward, we kind of backed up, and I asked Cisco directly who was the best partner in the world for this kind of a call center, and they basically told me that it was Dimension Data. So with Jeff's team, we brought them in. They were able to engineer a system that allowed us to grow 10 to 15-fold and have zero downtime. And I can say for the past year, it's actually been installed, we have had not 1 minute of downtime.
Brandon, we've had some really specific goals that we've talked about for this project. Maybe you can share what your goals were when we got started with this.
Well, when Trident Marketing began its process of doing its marketing, we were listed all across the country in multiple directories. When we first began this marketing project, we only had about 3,000 numbers. We had to have a system that would allow us to grow as we grew our marketing programs up to and including about 100,000 numbers. So capacity was very important to us. This prior system that we had did not have any capacity for doing any kind of numbers of that scale. So the Dimension Data Cisco solution, engineered from the beginning to handle 100,000 numbers, was important to us. In addition to that, the migration from a TDM type system to SIP allowed us to do this scale on a lot cheaper platform. For instance, for each one of the numbers that were out in the field, we were paying about $15 per number per month. This allowed us to go with a SIP solution, and we were paying somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 cents per number per month. So the cost savings was very significant, especially as we grew exponentially. The last thing, and probably the most important though, is system stability. Prior to Dimension Data's entering into this project, our system was down multiple times for multiple hours, costing us anywhere from $1.5 million to $2 million that first month of implementation.
So Brandon, any technology, there's obviously the technical component to it, but the human component is also important, and the impact that technology has on end users. How has this call center upgrade that we've done, how's that impacted your end users?
Well, basically, from our prior system, we found that some of our numbers were actually ringing busy because we were at the maximum capacity of the phone system. So my IT staff would actually manually have to basically test dial numbers every night to make sure that our high value numbers were actually ringing to the call center. When you have a call center, the one thing you want to do is make sure that the phones are ringing. The agents are paid on a per call basis as well as how many that they answer. So every minute that they're not answering calls, the morale starts to sharply fall off. So once we did the phone system upgrade, we were 100% sure that every number was ringing. And we found that basically all that lost revenue that we had over the years on the same marketing programs allowed us to grow immediately and add more numbers. So we were able to grow basically almost double in size in 1 year.
When we started this relationship, you were actually kind of in hot water with your current solution. And we were able to take over kind of at a midpoint, but there were a lot of problems. What was your experience with Dimension Data's Uptime services from our global service center?
You're right, Jeff. Originally, from the first vendor, we actually had a system that wasn't engineered correctly. And Cisco, by migrating us over to Dimension Data, we took your maintenance contract on. We didn't have any telephony support services per se for Trident, so Dimension Data became our first call. We relied heavily on you, and as you know, in the past, we had a lot of problems. We had a lot of downtime. But anytime, night or day, we had a series of people that we knew that we could call, and we didn't just have to put in a ticket. We actually had their number, and they would pick up the phone. They kind of knew where to start, and we would be up and running within an hour. So I can't tell you the amount of lost revenue we would have had we not had the support team that we've had with Dimension Data. Now, with the phone system upgrade and with the engineering team that Jeff brought in, we've had no downtime, and the system's been engineered for extreme growth. We can even go beyond the 100,000 numbers. And I think that made the executive team feel that we had made a great purchase and it was money well spent.
Brandon, what really has made the difference for you in working with Dimension Data? Where do you see us as being different in the marketplace?
Well, Jeff, in any role a CIO has, you basically have to pick what I would call your critical vendors. Those are the ones that you rely on day to day. For a call center, it would be your phone system. And our selection of Dimension Data as one of those critical vendors has really been a twofold marriage in the fact that with the high-touch sales model that you have, you are giving me basically innovations that are coming that I'm maybe not aware of. So it allows me to leverage some of the newer technologies, such as last week when you were talking about social media and how we can integrate that into our marketing programs and also integrate it with the phone system. With that being said, your team, when it comes in and talks to me about where the future of telephony is going, especially with VoIP, those I actually put into what I would call budgetary items for next year's cost reductions. And that kind of a critical relationship I feel is key for my success as a CIO and for our company's rapid growth plans.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, Brandon, for my part, and Dimension Data in general, we feel the responsibility to be there to understand your business goals, your plans for the next 5 years, and make sure that this investment that you've made will pay dividends in the future. And where do we take it? You know, how will we harness this in the future? You've already done more than most companies that I've run into in my 25 years in business. But what's the future going to hold? And so, you know, our goal is to take what you have, guide you into the new technologies that Cisco's offering, because they're always developing innovative new solutions, and help that, you know, push the dial forward for your business.